So before I get started, this is a new mic I just got. Let me know if it sounds good or not. To me, it sounds way better. Just let me know if it's like too loud or anything like that. And also, if you can subscribe to me, I really appreciate it. I'm at 900, about to hit 1K. Decent little milestone. Also, the boy will get some bread. Anyways, let's get into the video. So now that the JJK manga has officially ended, I want to go over my top 5 moments of JJK manga history. Now, this is just going to be straight from the manga, and it could be like a collection or just one single panel, or just a single scene, basically. But I'm going to do no honorable mentions, just a straight top 5. Because then it's not even a top 5, it's basically a top 10 at that point. And I only want to do a top 5 moments in the manga. So with that out of the way, no funny business, let's get straight to it. Now, number 5, I have Yuji walking through Sukuna's cleave or dismantle. Now, this shit was straight peak, man. And especially the whole build up too. I think this is when JJK really started to turn like mainstream, like all the leakers, all the leak streams and whatever. This is when the bread started hitting, man. Everybody was tuning in as soon as Sukuna went into Megumi's body. Like the whole scene, that whole build up, like the binding bout, which still doesn't make any sense, by the way. But Yuji just walking through Sukuna's dismantle. Yuji getting a hit on Sukuna, hit like crack in the 80s. Needed to see that. I know he got manhandled right after, but bro was him like that. That shit was so tough. And I really love like the whole thing about Yuji. If it involves pain, he will never stop. I think that's what makes it a little bit more too. It's just that Yuji will never stop if it involves pain, because how much he wants to help others and stuff like that. Shit is so peak. And again, like the whole build up for it, the actual panel itself looks so badass. All the cuts and the blood, and he's still just walking through it like it ain't shit. Come on, man. Now going on to number 4, I have one that should be in everybody's top 5. I have the IMU. Now the IMU is great on so many levels. One, we finally got to see bitch ass Mahito get absolutely worked. After him killing Nobara and Nanami, I wanted to see this dude despair, and bro went out sad, toddlerish, begging for his life, not like the boy Sukuna, crying. And I love the actual scene itself, like the whole panel and the parallel between like the rabbit and the wolf, and the whole where you go I go, what you see I see, all the edits. I really love the whole scenery of it, like the whole snow, the wolf, the rabbit, and that Yuji walks to him, doesn't even run to him, doesn't even like try to really go after him for real. He's just walking him down. Shit is so tough. I think the best part about this is the whole symbolism and parallels of it, of how Yuji had to accept that him and Mahito were the same. They both kill curses or humans because it doesn't matter to them. They're just faceless beings that are just nothing to him, so it doesn't really matter. And Yuji had to accept that to actually defeat him, to actually grow, get past this. Especially after the whole Sukuna thing went on, Yuji was just down tremendous. So to see him finally get a W, this was him making a main character moment, man. And he proved it right here and even later on, that Yuji is that guy. Now, going on to number 3, I have one that probably many people don't have in their top 3, but I do because I love it so much. I have Gojo's return. Now, Gojo, when he was in the manga, just took shit over. He was going on a 2018 LeBron type run. In the chapters, he came back until his death. The amount, I hate to say it, but the amount of aura he had when he came back, you know, everybody's worried 10,000 feet below. They don't know that the boy is whooping shit and talking that shit too. The first words that come out of his mouth are like, "Ayo, Kenny, you better watch them words, because they will be the last you ever say." Oh my god. Then he disrespects the fuck out of Urame, saying, "Who is you?" and hitting her One Punch Man style. God damn. And he low-key just should have scrapped right there, but Gege had to give Sukuna a fair chance, because otherwise he would have molly-whopped them boys. Shit wouldn't have even been close. But again, I just love his return. It's everything I love about JJK, Gojo, the best character in JJK, by the way. And I want to make a whole video about the whole like the strongest and like Gojo's isolation about that, and his entire character and his whole like battle mentally, and just like how it basically just about him really. So let me know if I should make that. But I just love this entire month, from the dialogue, from the actions, just the amount of badassness that Gojo had. Homie is the main character. He took that shit over. The drip too, somehow got more muscular. Dripped the fuck out from head to toe, talking that shit, taking belt to ass, disrespecting them boys, doing everything. He's like 2018 LeBron and 96 Jordan combined, bro. So moving on to number 2, I got Gojo versus Sukuna, just that entire fight. But if you want to narrow down to one moment, I'm gonna get the domain clashes. I'm telling you, this solidified JJK into top 5 mangas of all time. This shit was like a UFC title card fight every single week. You just had to be there. The chokehold that JJK had put Angela White to shame. It had the entire globe viewing into the leak nights. The panels, the leaks were getting like 1 million views in under 10 seconds, in under a minute. I'm telling you, it's like Conor McGregor every single week. Gege is just so good at drawing fights, creating these hype ass moments, the domain clashes, the paneling of it, the artwork of it, just like the whole choreography of it. Gojo versus Sukuna, I think, would be a perfect fight besides the ending, man. The ending was straight ass. The strongest should have actually won, but he just had to get them out of here because the side character can't be the main antagonist. That's just not how manga works. But still, Gojo versus Sukuna, that alone is easily the best fight I've ever seen in just any piece of fiction. The hype moments, the badass moments, the going from week to week, especially like the whole Gojo getting cut in the neck. All those theories came out. The hollow purple, oh my god. I'm telling you, if it just wasn't for the ending, shit would be 100 out of 10 the best like chapters I've ever seen, man. This week to week not only fed families, it fed lives, it fed generations. It was just on such a peak ass run. Again, I think the paneling, the actual choreography of it was just really well executed by JJK. And whenever this hits the anime or whenever it goes to, I think it's gonna be a movie, it's gonna change lives, man. It is gonna change lives. That's how good it is. And the domain clashes, even just like normal manga animations, shit looks so peak, bro. JJK was in his bag for real when he was making this. Now, number one, I know many people might have Gojo vs. Sukuna 1 or maybe like a different one, but again, this is just my personal opinion. I even have it as my wallpaper, and it is actually my favorite manga panel of all time. And it's not a moment that you would expect, but I have the strongest. The strongest is my favorite panel of all time, and in JJK, obviously. First, let me just talk about what I love about it. There's layers to this. So let me get into the first layer. I love like the whole idea of it, of how, who is Gojo Satoru to you? And then it has everybody talking about him. Just the dialogue itself, GOAT material. Of how like he went through each of the students or just people that knew him and their view on him. How like Yuji's like, he saved my life. Oh, and also he's stupid, he's dumb, but need I say more? I like how the strongest ended every single like sentence they said. I love that layout of it, and I love Gojo's pose and just the style of it. That pose looks so tough. I don't know why. I can't describe it, but shit looks tough, sad, badass, but lonely all at the same time. I love the little white lines at the bottom. How it's just him and his shadow with the white lines. And the actual, like the strongest, like the circles around it, I don't even know how I tried to recreate that. I couldn't even do it for real. But just like the actual panel, the artwork itself is so gas to me, man. I just love it, especially like the colored version here. This is my wallpaper right here. The colored version looks so good. The pose is so tough. I just love the pose, the actual like the style of it, how it's him in his shadow by himself because he's the strongest, he's at the top of the mountain. Second thing I love about this panel so much is the whole meaning behind it and how this is like Gojo's entire conflict of being the strongest. How him being the strongest was actually him just being the loneliest, most isolated person on this planet, and how people only viewed him because of that. They didn't even view him as Gojo Satoru. I love how the dialogue here like shows each like everybody's personality towards him. How Yuji's like actually like his friend, kind of like actually genuinely appreciates him, while everybody else is like, yo, yeah, he's dumb. I don't know him that much. He's stupid. What else is there to talk about? He's the strongest. They only viewed him for that. They only viewed him as a weapon, a curse-killing machine, the GOAT. They only viewed him for that. And I think it's also tragic, but also beautiful at the same time. Like, you know, for being the strongest, you gotta make sacrifices in life, man. To be at the top of your game, you gotta make a lot of sacrifices. And in Gojo's case, and JJK's case anyway, for Sukuna too, the strongest was just by themselves. They couldn't relate to anything. They weren't viewed as human beings. They were just viewed as the strongest. I love how those two simple words mean so much, man. Those two simple words mean he's the strongest. The GOAT everybody goes to protection, but also he's the strongest. That's all they know him as. They don't know Gojo as a human being. They don't know his personality, what he likes, what he dislikes. They just know him and like him because he's the strongest. God, bro. JJK when he was writing, imagine being in the stew and just drawing that up. God damn, man. I love this panel so much, just from the artwork to the meaning of it, the parallels behind it, how it sums up Gojo's entire character into one single panel. So that for me is why it makes top one, not only in JJK, but in manga history. The only thing I can see topping it now is Luffy and Nami. Luffy become Power King, or whooping Imu's ass, or even Usopp getting hockey for once. I don't know, but still, top one for me is the most misunderstood character of all time, the strongest.